Right, I'm officially calling this finished until I find something else to put on it. But, so, I've put stickers on, little reflective marker light stickers around the back, Ford sticker on the side, just my initials to be different, more reflective stickers. Let's have a look at the back. Decided to put the number plate up in here. Didn't like it there. It's out the way up there, and it looks alright. Guess technically I could have put it up here. Some of them have them up the top. I've always found that a bit weird having them up the top here. So, looks alright down the bottom. Same this side. The ones going around the edge. Fours, initials, reflective was already on there. Steps, not the group. Front, low emissions, Euro 2, blah blah blah. Stuck a little map on the dashboard. I've just ordered some right hand drive windscreen wipers from Adam at Model Lighting Solutions. Very nice man, very helpful. He's a very nice man, he is. He's very, very nice, is Adam. Anything you need for your lighting needs or anything. Certain 3D printed stuff and all he started doing as well, so look him up. Model Lighting Solutions. Good site. Nice man. Right, so yeah, apart from the wipers, got to wait for them to come. When they come, I am calling this one finished for now. Right, so now I just have to have a bit of a tidy up. Shift it on the floor for a minute. Actually, I want to change some wheels on one of my Scanias, because these have been sitting on the desk for too long, so I might as well put them on something, and I have the perfect thing to put them on. Got these off eBay. Nice set of wheels. They are very awkward though to try and get a lock nut, nylock nut on the inside of there with my fat fingers. So what I found easier, and to me looks just as good, because the nylock nuts look a bit big on the inside actually. Now I've taken them off, you can't see it, let me show you one. So I don't know if that can pick that up. Yeah, you can just about see them. They do look good, but they're very awkward to get to. in there. So what I did with mine, I will show you once I've got the wheels on, the tyres on I should say. That's Tim's fault, bloody wheels and tyres, and I'm blaming him for that one. Speak of the devil, he's enjoying watching train wreck videos at the moment. So what I found, because, let me show you, the thread is this, I can't understand why there's thread in here. And there is a thread in there, it's literally screws in. So I guess you screw them all through, feed the wheels on, then do the nuts up. But like I say, with my fat fingers, it's not that easy. I could use, I have some nut spinners, so I guess if I really wanted to, I could possibly shove it in there. And would that go on there? Yeah, that would go down on there, so I could do it that way. But the way I've done the rest, I've done them on a couple, 2 or 3. That one's got one, that one's got one. Yeah, two or three different lorries I've put these on now. And the way I found works best for me is just screw through the wheels into the hub. Seeing as there's a thread in the hub, it's just so much easier. They are long screws and they do stick out, but they don't stick out enough to hurt anything. Like I say, I've got them on at least 2 that I can see, just of, I think 3 actually. And they don't foul anything, even though they do stick out a bit. Let me get a couple on and I'll show you what I mean. It just, like I say, personal preference. You could put the nuts on, you can leave the nuts off, you can do what you like. If you buy them and you fit them on yours, it's up to you what you do with them. But I found, personally, I like to just screw straight through the front into the back, trying not to drop them. They hold it just the same. You just, when you look in, you don't see nuts, but you don't look that closely in them anyway. See, I don't know if you pick up, they do stick out a bit, but they don't foul anything. So I've not had a problem doing it this way. Right, I don't preach, I don't give recommendations, I don't give anything. I do what I do, I show what I do. If you want to copy it, you can copy it. If you don't, you don't. If you think it's wrong, or you don't agree with something I do, that's entirely up to you. But that's how I do it, so that's how it's done on my things. But I've been watching a few videos lately, and some people are, let's say, dangerous. Dangerous in the respect that I personally think some of the information they give is not only wrong, but wrong to the extent where it is dangerous. It can cause you problems, it can cost you money, it can even put people off of this hobby. And that to me isn't a good thing, because I love this hobby. Otherwise I won't be surrounded by this bloody lot sitting in here. And all these twats that go on about all these specialist tools you need, load of crap. Don't believe it, don't waste your money on them. If you need special screwdrivers to work on Tamiya, why in their manual does it say, and I will quote, tools needed, screwdriver large, looks like a Phillips, screwdriver medium, looks like a Phillips, long nose pliers, side cutters, tweezers and a sharp knife. That's basically all you need, apart from the spanner that comes with it and an Allen key that comes with it. Personally, I bought this a few years ago. Everything in there you need. You can build a whole truck with it. With the exception, I do like a pair of side cutters. Snips, perfect for getting parts off trees, trimming up, even cutting wires, everything. They're brilliant tools. They are cheap. Everyone should have at least one set of them. Pair of tweezers, because my fingers sometimes hard getting little 2mm screws or nuts out of bloody things. It's easier with a pair of tweezers. Small Phillips, small magnetic Phillips, again for the small screws. The only thing I would say to buy, personally, I think you need a decent set of XZ screwdrivers, Allen key screwdrivers, basically. They come in so handy so often. You ain't got to spend the earth, just a decent, half decent set. Because whenever you get things like these wheels, it's all Allened, and it's so much easier with this than a normal Allen key. Set of nut spinners is nice, but not necessary. You don't get that many, but you need them on. I only bought these, and I would recommend them if you ever buy a King Kong RC truck, because they are all little XZs. There's not many Phillips, not many flatheads. Well, there's no flatheads, I don't think. I will show you the whole lorry pretty much. Can you see that when it focuses? It's a 2mm screw with a 2mm XZ. I think there's two sizes from memory. I think there's a 1.5 and a 2mm, or it might be a 2mm and a 2.5. They do give you Like, it looks like a little tube, it's like a little socket. So that will go on the head of the nut, the bolt. Then you stick an Allen key in there and you can do it up. Nut spinners are better if you get the right size, because you ain't got to fiddle about and keep dropping that bit. It is very, very fiddly, especially when you come to putting the wheels together. You think, what have I let myself in for? But the end result is worth it. But yeah, I reckon, right, cutters, Posi number 2 screwdriver, cheap little magnetic screwdriver with interchangeable bits, scalpel, tweezers, box wrench that comes with it. I could build any Tamiya kit with them, and I do mean any Tamiya remote control kit. I could build with just them tools. It's all you need. Thin nose pliers, yes, can come in handy when you're trying to hold something inside the chassis or whatever. Not necessary, but can be handy. But that's the toolkit I would say you need to build anything. You can buy all these weird and wonderful tools, and this screwdriver and that screwdriver, and screwdrivers I've never even heard of before. Why, I don't know, because I've never used one, and I have built, let's say, a couple of kits and a couple of custom trucks. So I would never say I'm an expert, but I do have some idea of what I'm talking about. And some of the crap you hear some of these idiots come out with, I sit there at night watching YouTube videos, shaking my head thinking, you're dangerous. You're giving false information. You're telling people to spend money on stuff they don't need. You're better off spending it on upgrades for your truck than you are buying some of this crap that some of these people tell you need to buy. And it's all bloody rubbish. Don't bother. Save your money. Spend the extra on a decent set of alley wheels or something. I was asked the other day by Derek. Hold on a minute, he just left me a thing. So Derek Warner, sure it was Derek Warner, asked me about making vinyls, and he'd like to see a how-to video. Also Andy Bundy asked me before to show him how. So if anyone's interested, let me know and I'll do a quick how-to video on it. It's obviously you've got to have the right machine. If you've got the right machine, it's very easy and surprisingly cheap. Them vinyls I made on that Coca-Cola truck, I would say probably cost under £2. If you really worked it out, it's probably under £1. It's surprising how cheap they are. Yet you look on eBay or you contact some of these so-called experts who will make you anything you want until you actually ask for something a bit out of the norm, and then, oh, I can't do that, because they're all full of cack. You look at how much they want for what they want to charge you for them, and it's daylight robbery. You can buy, obviously you've got to buy the machine, which ain't cheap. You pick a second hand one up if you can find one, but new one, couple of £100, 250-ish I think, from memory, for a decent one, depending on the make and that. Mine is a Silhouette Cameo, and I love it. It's, although it was, like I say, it's probably about £250, I've saved God knows how much. When you think of how much I used to spend on getting things made. Right, they're all together. Let's get this down. So this is what I'm going to put them on. Oh, the other thing I saw lately as well on a YouTube video I meant to mention, which got my back up a bit and annoyed me, was watching someone show you how to do a lorry, how to put a kit together, because clearly he's an expert, so he's done loads apparently, so he's the best man to show you how to put them together, I guess, seeing as he's done so many. So he's, this particular video showing you how to build whatever it was building, certain truck, and he was putting a gearbox together. A lot of people find a gearbox tricky. Coca-Cola didn't tell you. When I got that, I know it was a shelf queen, because it would never have run. The gearbox was put together wrongly. As in, two of the gears was the wrong way in the wrong position, so it would never have run. It wouldn't run. I actually tried it, it wouldn't connect, it just span inside. There was nothing, no gears at all. So I stripped it down, rebuilt it correctly, put it all back together as you've seen it drive if you watched the last video, or last but one video, whatever. You've seen it drive, so it drives alright, there's nothing wrong with it now. It changes gear, it does what it's supposed to. But anyway, this plunker showing you how you do this, how you do that. I'll show you how to put a gearbox together. Cocked it up halfway through, clearly cocked it up. You could see he cocked it up, he got the part wrong. Now, the bit that got my back up, if he'd have turned around and said, oh, silly me, I've done that wrong, this is how you do it right, or this is how you now correct it. No, the bit that annoyed me is he then proceeded to stop the video, get it right, whether he done it, someone else done it, I don't know who done it, because he stopped the video, and then start the video again, and all of a sudden everything's working perfect. That bit does annoy me when people do that. You make a mistake, we're all human, we all make mistakes, I make them all the time. Remember that. The difference is, remember that as well. Difference is, I will say, I've made a mistake, this is how you correct it. Or, I've made a mistake, I don't know how to correct it. Or, this is how I would correct it. You might do it a different way, but this is how I would personally do it. I don't like seeing people make mistakes and then skip, go straight on, stop the video or whatever, get the mistake corrected, whether it's by them or by somewhere else or whatever, and then start playing again as if, or start recording again I should say, as if nothing's happened. But don't explain what they've done wrong, and if you're following them, you're going to do it wrong and all. This is my point. If you're following their video on how to build something, you're going to get it wrong because they've just got it wrong. But they ain't shown you how to correct it. So they've just moved on. Now theirs is working fine. You're sitting there scratching your head thinking, well, how comes his is working and mine ain't? Because he cocked up, stopped the video, probably phoned his mate, how do I do this? I've got someone else to sort it out, or took him 3 weeks and then started the video again, because who knows when it was actually recorded. But you're sitting there following his tutorial on how to build a lorry, a car or whatever it is, and you're sitting there scratching your head thinking, mine don't work properly, his works fine, I'm sure I copied exactly what he done. And that's the problem, you did copy exactly what he done, but he wasn't man enough to show you or admit that he done something wrong and, oh look, I've done that wrong, this is how I correct it. That, I must say, does wind me up, and it does get my back up, because again, that will quickly put people off this hobby, or any hobby, or could cost you a fortune, because you take it to a shop, or you take it, oh, can someone else have a look at this, or you might be unlucky and not know someone like me who'll do it for you for nothing. Take it somewhere and they charge you on it, bloody fixing it, putting it all, getting it right and everything, and because this so-called plonker who knows how to do them because he's been doing them for years, clearly don't know how to do them, or can't admit he's made a mistake. Oh no, I can't do that, that'll make me look bad. I certainly can't look bad because I'm an expert. I know exactly what I'm doing, and everyone's going to follow me and know exactly how to build, because I can do it so well. And people really get my, like I say, they get my back up, and I would quite willingly give them a good swift kick where it hurts. But that's not PC, is it? You're not even allowed to say anything on their channel, because that's wrong as well, and you'll get blocked and blacklisted and God knows what else, just because you've corrected them. Because who are you to correct them? They're the expert, they know what they're doing. I mean, to me, you've got to be a very confident, or an expert. Let's face it, you have to be an expert. You have to do this 24/7, earning good money out of it, if you're going to then go on to try and teach people on how to build them. Because you've got to know how to build them yourself first. Hence why I never do tutorial videos. I make it quite clear, this video is for me, it's for future reference for me. If you want to watch it, knock yourself out. If you like it, I'm happy for you. If you don't, it doesn't bother me in the slightest. It's done for me. It's not a tutorial video, it's how I do it. If you see something that comes in handy and you copy it, again, good on you. Knock yourself out. If it don't go how you planned, not my problem. Because I've not once said, this is how you have to do it. Because I don't believe this is how you have to do it. It's just how I do it. As I said with them screws, it's how I do it. I find it easier just to screw them through rather than trying to get the nuts back on them. But that's me. If any of you buy these wheels, If you want to put the nuts on them, you go ahead and put the nuts on them. They're your wheels, you do what you like with them. I know Tim's got some, he put the nuts on them. They do look good, but it don't bother me. They're screwed on, they're not going anywhere. They're doing what they're supposed to do. It don't matter to me that there's nuts on them or there's no nuts on them. It's, at the end of the day, it's a toy truck and I'm not that anal. It's, like I say, it's, if it gets done, it gets done. If it don't get done, it don't get done. It's entirely up to whoever it is building it. The choice is all yours, as they say. Oh, that was the other thing, wasn't it? Remember. Oh, that was another thing. Me and Tim was talking last night. We was watching something. And the tiny little 2mm screws you get and nuts. And it's getting a nut in the back there. Personally, I find it easy. And I can show you how I do it. Again, how I do it. How you do it is entirely up to you. How I do it is using your tweezers. Get the nut, put the tweezers through the middle of the nut. Let them go and it'll just spring against them and pick them up. Feed it in. Because while it's in there you can twist it. Once it slots in, push the tweezers together, the nut stays in there. Put your thumb on it. Put your thumb on it, that's your finger. Told you I'm going mad. Find the pegs that go in the other holes. There you go. Get a screw on a magnetic screwdriver. Hence why a small magnetic screwdriver. Put it in, do it up, job done. It's that easy. You don't need special tools, you don't need to use anything other than a screwdriver and your finger. But personally, again, my personal opinion, well, not just my personal opinion, because obviously, like I said, me and Tim was talking, he agrees with me, or we agreed with each other. I never screw them. There's pins on the back of here, goes in the pins on there. Like so, right. They're locked together, you can't twist them. Once that goes onto that X and there's a nut on the outside, they ain't going anywhere. They're not going to slip. They're locked together. I can't see the point of farting around with screws. I've only ever broke one of these wheels once. I don't know whether I over tightened it or what, but it split right where the screw goes through to the centre. While it was on the truck. And it started wobbling. That's how I knew it was broke. And looked at it and thought, oh, that's all hanging off, because it worked its way round. So it pretty much broke the whole of the inside. Since then I've never screwed them. I've never had a problem. These are different. Aluminium, come with a hub. You have to screw them. There's no other way, otherwise they will just spin all over the place. But Tamiya ones, or any make ones, plastic ones, because I'm pretty sure, yeah, Hercules hobbies are the same, I'm sure. Pretty much they're the same bloody wheel. Well, copies, so they'd be the same design. Again, I have never screwed them. Never had a problem with them. But according to these so-called experts, you need to screw them, otherwise they'll slip. I really can't see how it can slip. Like I say, there's a peg goes in a hole. 3 pegs go in 3 holes. You must be seriously abusing it if you can get it to slip. I personally never have. But again, that's just my opinion. I'm no expert. Just an amateur. An amateur that's built a couple of trucks and a couple of cars. So what I need now for this is some nice wheels. Put it in the right way, am I up? Some nice wheels for the front. Nice alley ones. But super single. I don't like a super single on the front. I just don't like the chrome. I don't know if it's just me or some people tend to love it. A bit of bling apparently. I just don't. It's not real. Not to me. But then I don't really do show trucks. I do working trucks. I do what you'd see driving down the road. That's what I like. Proper working truck that you're going to see, you could see any day of the week, pretty much anywhere. Not one that you've got to go to a special truck show to see, or you might see it driving down the road if you're really lucky once in a blue moon. But again, each to their own. If that is what you like, then that is what you like, and don't let anyone tell you you're wrong, because you're not. If it's what you like, it's right for you. Just might not be right for someone else. Right, so them wheels are on. I think they look quite nice actually, and even with the bolts the wrong way round, can't really notice. I mean, you're worried about nuts. There's not nuts in the end there, is there? So, and on the plastic one, it's just a bit of plastic sticking up. So, looks alright, I think. Like I say, I quite like them, and they're not overly expensive either. £20, £25, £30 for a set, like 2, which ain't bad for a set of alley wheels. Right, let's put that back up there. this away. Now it's done. So I've got to get some front. That's the hard part, is finding some nice front wheels. Because I've seen a lot lately that are really nice. But for some reason they keep making them with the X on the back. Which you've got to have a drive axle. If I'm honest, this is probably the only place I ever put a bit of thread lock. Never lost screws, but I have lost scrub screws out of drive shafts. To me, if you put them together right and tight enough, then you shouldn't lose them. Screws shouldn't fall out. But these scrub screws are different, I guess, with the vibration and the spinning and everything. But every other screw in the truck, I've never put any on. Again, just me. Some people swear by the stuff. I think it's bloody messy, horrible stuff. Plus, I think it also comes from, I bought a truck once and trying to strip it down because it was a complete piece of shit. I think Stevie Wonder's brother built it. It was diabolical. Funny enough, I was talking to Mr. Bundy about it last week, and I ended up stripping it down and rebuilding it. I did buy it for spares, but then when I saw the state of it, I made it a personal challenge to myself that I wanted to strip it down, rebuild it, and use as many of the original parts as I could. And I did. I replaced the drive shafts. No, I didn't. I'll say that I'll start again because I'm an idiot. I replaced the chassis rails because you wouldn't believe the state these chassis rails was in. They actually had resin on them, and they'd used resin and glue to glue nuts to the chassis rail. Why? Who knows? Only they can answer that, but there was a state. And a couple of the windows broke, so I bought a window tree. So I bought the glass windscreen tree, and I bought a pair of new chassis rails, and then I built the truck back on all the original body and everything, even though it don't look like it, and it is different from how it's supposed to look because I had to change quite a few bits on it. But I managed to do it, so I passed my own test, if you like. Right, another one done. Let's put this back. I'll get it down and show you what I mean. Bear with me. Right, so we have night hauler. As I say, I've changed the chassis rails and new windows. That's it. Everything else on here, it come with the truck I bought. To say how bad it was, let's say, if I tell you, if you watched any of my videos of the trucks running, I drove this down the path outside this shed, which is what, 40 foot, and it lost about 6 screws fell out of it. That's how badly it was built. I don't think they understood the difference between self-tapping plastic screw and a machined screw with thread, because the chassis was in such a state, because half the bolts, or the nuts, no, half the bolts in it, screws in it, was self-tapping plastic ones. So just completely stripped the thread out of what was in there, and of course they've got nothing to grip to, so with it just moving down the path and rattling, they all and fell out. It was a state. Lenses are missing on the bottom, but I like I said, the window up here was broke. I think the side window was broke, and the windscreen had all scratches on it. This window was okay, I believe, and I think this one up here was missing. So I bought a windscreen set to replace all the glass. The only other thing I've changed on here, which I already had, was the exhausts, because I had them off of something else. They're actually off of an Aeromex, and as you can see now, they're on the back. Because it was in such a state, the paint job was so rubbish, there's no other way of putting it. There must have been 20 layers put on at once. And I couldn't strip it. It had big gouges in the side, so I had to basically sand it down, sand all the paint off. So as you can see, a lot of the detail's gone. I managed to save that cubby hole door, but the other one's gone. I've took the exhaust parts away from here, put these ones on the back, because again they was all broke. The top parts was missing, the other bits was dented or broke, or I think the only thing that wasn't damaged on here was the wheels. It wasn't brilliant. Again, you can see, if you know what a night hauler looks like, again it should have like fake door there. Oh, the other one's buried, where I've had to sand it all down to get rid of the gouges and everything. The detail's gone, but it's alright. I quite like it actually, how it is. Something different, isn't it? All the chrome had been scratched, so hence why everything what was chrome is now black. Bought these years ago. Don't know why I bought them. Not actually a fan, and I thought when I was doing this, I'll just put that on there because it's a bit of a joke truck. But it actually come out better than I thought. So yeah, that was that's an unexpected truck really, because like I say, I bought it for spares. The bloke who was selling it did say it was a non-runner, well, non-runner is a bit of an exaggeration. It's probably the worst truck I've ever seen in the, what, 18, 19 years I've been doing lorries. If you count the whole time I've been in this, I'll be doing Tamiya remote controls, which is 40 years. It's the worst build I've ever seen. And I have seen quite a few. But that by far was the worst build I have ever seen. It was disgraceful, is the only way I can put it. It was diabolical. I would have, if it was me, I'd have been ashamed and I would never have built another one. But there you go. So it was, like I say, it was a little bit of a test to myself that what can I do with this. A few times I felt like just I'll take the axles and that off and throw the rest in the bin. But then it was, no, put your money where your mouth is and do something with what you've got, and that's what I'd done with what I had. I say, the deflectors on the back have gone, because I think from memory this one was here, half of this side was here, and the top ones was missing, and I thought I don't want to spend any more money on it than I had to, or than I already had by buying it. So I didn't. I literally bought chassis rails and the windows, that was it. I didn't want to buy anything else. I wanted to use whatever I could off of the original. So the exhausts weren't worth keeping, they went in a bin. These pair I had off of Aeromax, a seriously damaged Aeromax that I bought purely as spares and got it at a good price because it was just spares. The body went straight in the bin because it was completely mashed. But for some reason the exhaust was alright. So it's surprising what you can do when you put your mind to things. It's just time. If you've got the time to spend, you'll be surprised what you can come up with and do. Right, this video is miles too long. So I'm going to have to stop it there and go and edit it, and I might put it out on 3 parts because it is miles too long. No one's going to be able to sit there and watch, what, 53 minutes of this. You'll be asleep after 10, and that's if you're really good. Probably be asleep after 2. Right, so that's me done. Au revoir, touchy bye. See you next time, if there is a next time. Oh yeah, let me know if you want, if you're interested in the vinyl one, and I'll do it.